It's a foggy Saturday morning in Asheville, North Carolina. It's 6:55 a.m. and over 1,000 cyclists are lined up under the Belgian Waffle ride arch. 164 kilometers with a whooping 3,300 meters of elevation gain, 17 off-road sector, and 16 categorized climb. My most rigorous competitor on the line are Ian Boswell, Connor Shunk, Jeremiah Bishop, Dylan Johnson, Kerry Warner, Brendan Wirtz, Russell Fitzgerald. 7 a.m. and the gun goes off. The first 10 kilometers are on the road. The first part of a gravel race is always weirdly hectic. So many riders try to be at the front, and the discrepancy between pack riding ability makes for a truly uncomfortable experience. 12 kilometers in, and we hit the first categorized climb of the day. A 3.5 kilometer gravel ascension with an average gradient of 6%. As soon as we start to climb, Russell hit the front and set a strong pace, and riders are getting dropped. Once at the summit, we are a small selection of 11 riders. Less than 5 kilometers later, we are joined by a second group on the road, and we are now a group of about 25 riders heading into the first technical challenge of the day. 18 kilometers in, and we enter this tiny dirt road on the side of Lake Summit. This section is about 1 car wide and is super twisty. Riders at the back are definitely investing more energy. With all those corners, there's a criterium-like effect. Those at the tail end of the group need to produce more power at the exit of every corner to stay in the group. 64 kilometers in, and we finally exit the dirt. We now have a 30 kilometer stretch exclusively on the road. This part of the race was by far the easiest. We are all eating, chatting, and taking easy relay at the front to keep advancing. At about 75 kilometers in, we hit that gorgeous descent that takes us from North to South Carolina. The road is in perfect condition, and every turn is slightly banked and makes for a super fast and safe downhill. Right after this descent, we go up a short and steep climb to find the first feed zone of the day. Everything goes smoothly. Some guys decide to pass on water, but I choose to slow down to pick a bottle. 96 kilometers in, and we cross a bridge. The sign that we are going back to the dirt for the longest climb of the day. A 17 kilometer long ascent with an average gradient of 3%. Right at the start of the climb, Logan Casper takes the front and ride. The pace is just enough to discourage any early attack. I know we still have a long way to go, and I'm trying to be as efficient as possible. The difference between constantly choosing the good line over the less optimal one in such gravel condition for that long of a climb makes a massive difference in power output. With that in mind, I'm making sure to stay present with every pedal stroke. My only focus is on selecting the right line. 8K later, we exit the first half of Pinnacle Mountain with a group of about 11 riders. I make sure to load on fuel because we are about to hit the second part of the ascent in the DuPont State Forest, which is way more rugged and technical than the first half. As we enter the second section of Pinnacle Mountain, we go through that super dark tunnel. We cannot see anything, and I honestly don't know how we didn't run into each other. Like I told you previously, the terrain of the second part of the ascent is way more technical. When it starts to go up again, Ian, Russell, Dylan, and I are increasing the pace. More guys are dropping from the group. With the gravel condition and gradient, drafting is almost non-existent, and everyone has to produce a similar power-to-weight ratio. 120 kilometers in, and we exit Pinnacle Mountain. We are now a group of 7 riders just in time to tackle the second to last climb of the day, Stattenwerg KOM, a 3.35 kilometer ascent with an average gradient of 5%. Literally nothing happened on this climb. Everyone is feeding from the car and we climb at a controlled pace. Once on the top of the KOM, we hit the last technical descent of the day. Dylan, Russell, Jeremiah, Kerry, and I are putting the hammer down to create a selection. Once at the bottom of the climb, we are a group of 6. Ian is dropped. There's a short stretch of road right before we turn left and enter this loose gravel sector. As soon as we are in, Brendan throws a brutal attack. I'm making sure to respond safely so my legs don't jam. I can feel that I'm on the verge of cramping and I know the final climb is still up the road. 135 kilometers in and Ian is back, literally less than 2 kilometers away from the last KOM. Not sure how we did it. We then take a right and turn into the final climb, the Jetter Mountain KOM, a 2.5 kilometer climb with an average gradient of 10%. As soon as we start climbing, Dylan goes to the front. I'm telling myself, oh, that's a pretty good pace. We are going at about 400 watts. But 10 seconds later, Ian drops a bomb and nobody can follow. From now on, we are at 10 kilometers from the finish and it's pretty much an individual time trial to the end. I'm right on the limit and I'm making sure I'm getting every bit of energy left out of my body. After 15 minutes of pure suffering, Ian takes the win. I closely follow with Brendan Worth for a cyclocross-style sprint finish. Right after crossing the line, Brendan comes up to me and throws me to the ground because I beat him in the sprint. Just kidding, the cramp got me. Brendan and I had a fantastic time pushing ourselves to the limit. Less than 2 minutes later, Kerry, Russell, and Dylan came in and sprint for the last places on the podium. So that's about it for the BWR Asheville recap. I honestly had a great time racing and hopefully I'll see you on the start line of this event next year. In the meantime, take care of yourself by making the most optimal choice in every moment and do the same to take care of the ones you love.